Hello and hey, today we're going to mess around with golf with your friends. This time going to be the Sunny Signature Guide, a custom map, in fact the most subscribed custom map in the workshop at this point in time. We are able to get this course down to a 22 at the present moment. That means that 3 holes are unable to be hole-in-one, with one of the holes needing to be a 3. The very first hole, however, we go full power at the rightmost notch of those 4 notches that we're aiming at that were just above the map. The description of that is way more complicated than the actual shot. You'll figure it out in no time. Hole number 2, we're going to go ahead and aim at the rightmost glyph of this little curved piece at full power again. Again, not very specific because of the formation of the little dip bowl and that piece that is jutting out there. We have no problem. Hole number 3, I don't recommend going for this shot. You do need to take a little bit of power off regardless of the first shot you take. And this one is very difficult. I do recommend sort of finding a different one, especially off to the left. You'll be able to bounce up and around. Hole number 4, we're going to go just over 2 power, a little bit more power than this. I get really lucky here. Aiming at the left side of that particular one. I had a 3 power shot and then suddenly just stopped working. So do not follow that. We're just going just over 2 power and go right into the hole. This one is the easiest hole on the course. You can go anywhere from the end of the power bar to about like 2 1/4. As long as you're aiming straight, you will go directly into the hole. Very fun instance. And the exact opposite of that, this is a very pixel perfect shot. We're going to sneak just by this wall at full power, and it is very beneficial to be on the first shot. You are way more likely to go in on the first shot than you are other shots, just because of the way that you get a little bit more power and just sort of the game, how it works. I'm not sure if they can figure that out anytime soon. Basically, any shot that gets you over onto this ramp is fine. I like the full power, aiming 2 tiles right of center, about halfway up that ramp, and then we're going to go full power from there, just right of the flag because we were on the right side of the flag, adjust for the curvature, and dunk it. This hole can be a bit tricky. The spot that you need to aim is very specific. You see me going just about 3.5 here. You can go more power, but I find that leads you to fall victim to going to the right of the hole, which again is fine as a backup. So if you want to go more power, it's fine, but getting the hole-in-one, 3.5 power had more success for me. Hole 9, this is the only 3 on the course. It's going to be a lot harder to kind of figure out like what exactly is going on until he maybe adds something, or if we find out what it is, like if one of these seams like pops you out of the course, that might be game changing. But the first shot we have, we're going to go full power straight. We're going to aim over at this corner of this block, and then for the last shot, we're going to aim sort of towards that left haunch situation, and we're going to just kind of sneak up a little bit so that we hit the actual loop, which is a really cool concept, and it's done well with that little extra piece to keep us into the bowl. Hole 10, there's probably a pixel perfect, frame perfect shot to get a hole-in-one, and it'd be great to see it. I just didn't exactly want to go for it just now. So I aim full power just left of that, and I wait until the spinning object here is basically a plus sign, perpendicular to me. But that's going to be my latency only, and even then there is a sort of variance to what you're going to experience in any given round. But that kind of leaves us all the way over here, so we have a clean shot. There's a large range of frames that would give you this shot. This one is probably the most difficult of which, just because it's not straight. But even then, it's super simple. And you just kind of want to keep your power a little bit low. That way you can stay inside the little dip. You just need to get over that little hill, and you will probably stay inside. So the next hole, very simple. We're going to go about 2 1/4. It's not ultra specific. We're aiming straight for it. Just don't get hit by those opening and shutting doors, and you're going to get yourself a hole-in-one. Hole 12, we're going to aim over here at this light square here at the bottom. We're kind of seeing us aiming at that intersection. Take this very specific amount of power off, and you're going to sneak into this little hole and down the ramp and catch just the edge of this right side. It is a little bit difficult of a shot. I do believe that it would be fine if the first shot bug didn't exist to go full power. Otherwise, you have to bounce off the wall to get a full power shot, and that's a whole different thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to aim for this leaf, the last leaf before a big break in the leaves, and we're going to go 3 and just about 4/5 That's going to give us a straight line down this thing, down into the little bowl here. There are a couple pixels of power that work because of that. You will end up in the bowl if you go that little bit of soft power. So this one, we're obviously going to go full power. There are two little notches that are very hard to see and a little blemish to the right of those. I do aim at the right side of that blemish. It's much harder to see in a video like this when you're playing on your own monitor at especially like a bigger resolution like 1440 or maybe even like 4K, which would feel silly for this game. But regardless of that, it's a little bit easier to see, but just kind of take my word for it. It's about right there. Again, not ultra specific. I've only hung up on that ledge like once. Next hole, almost full power. And we're going to aim at the spot that isn't shaded on the ground there. Again, not ultra specific. Don't worry too much about it because of the little dips, little bowls. They're not pixel perfect. So just kind of go the speed at about that, and you'll dial it in as you kind of play the game a little bit more. Hole 16, we're going to go 3.5 power, and I'm sort of using that second vertical line, not vertical line. That'd be a whole different. We're going to go ahead and go down into this pipe, for lack of a better term. It's not 100%, like even if there's a full power strat, it doesn't work every single time. It's just sort of the way that the ball interacts on this slab. Maybe you can make it like one more angle or half an angle higher and it would go in every time, or maybe he wants it to be like that. I'm not entirely sure, but don't be surprised if you hang up on that lip. It happens a little bit more often than it probably should. So this one I like to go 3.5, but you do need to go a little bit right of center. If you go left of center or dead center or not right enough, this exact shot will happen. And I think that's because he used one of the pieces that has a lot of bounce beneath it, unfortunately. So either he needs to drop the elevation of that piece by just like the smallest hair, or they'll fix it with the game physics. But either way, you're going to have to be a little bit careful. And like I said, go a tiny bit right of center on that one. And for the last hole, this is the most power you can go for the shot that we're aiming for. It is possible to go back to 16 with like almost like a full power shot, but just like shy of it. That's a whole different story. But you can go like the 2 4/5, 2 3/4 directly backwards from that hole, and you will sort of just slide down the edge of the pyramid, catch the ramp, and actually go in much more smooth than that. I was on the very last pixel you could have of the power when I was able to get in there. So that is the course. Very fun. It's pretty easy to see why that is the most subscribed course. The red on the sand stuff looks fantastic. It's the most striking feature. There's a little bit of an elephant that there is a guide on YouTube. I did not see it until after I'd gathered the footage. So in between me doing the voiceover, because I can't do it at all times of the day, and we cut to black here, and me recording and finding out the shots, I did see that. I did see that we have a lot of the same shots, so I don't want that to garner any controversy. I just hadn't seen the video. I do think that a couple of mine are a little bit better than his, and there are a couple of full power shots that he does that are definitely better than mine. So the video that he has, it's by Aploplex. Seen him around in the Golf With Your Friends community. If you're watching this video, you've probably heard of him or seen him like in Gizzy's server, maybe the actual server. I'm not entirely sure. But I just wanted to clear the air that I had not seen that, and still going to get shots, say that I stole shots anyway. So I just want to put the disclaimer out there that I had seen this, but it was only in between recording the voiceover and actually finding the shots myself. I will be using some of his, and I hope he picks up on some of mine. But at the end of the day, until we find a lower score on this one, because it is the most subscribed one, I will kind of keep that updated. Sorry for the long video. It's much longer than the other ones, but thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and be safe, guys.